Hi everyone, hope you've all had a wonderful week. In this week's report, we'll see if Lake Eucumbene is continuing to rise and check where the fish were biting. Pete has a great drone shot of Yen's Bay to share with us. In this week's Look Back in Time, I have a newspaper pic of the Adaminaby Dam site taken back in 1957. There's the weather, visitor pics, and more. Great news that Lake Eucumbene is continuing to rise, up a further 0.9% this week, but there are signs that it's starting to slow over the past couple of days. Lake Jindabyne dropped 1.1% this week, and more on that in a moment, and Tantangara Dam is down a whopping 4.2% over the last 7 days. Lake Jindabyne rose a whopping 13% in the past 6 weeks, but, as we just saw, it fell rapidly this week. The cause? No one pulled the plug out. The dramatic fall being caused by the biggest environmental flow out of Jindabyne this year. The flow, which is designed to maintain the health of the Snowy River downstream of the lake, started on Wednesday, 15th of October, and by Friday, the lake had dropped a whopping 1.1%. Our friends at the Lake Jindabyne Facebook group have been keeping a close eye on the lake levels there. Gordon's Lake State graphically illustrating the fall. The first pic taken on Wednesday, before the environmental release started, and the second just 24 hours later. Sunny skies across the mountains saw plenty of anglers out and about this week trying their luck, and some good fish were caught. Poppy Green was out and about on Lake Eucumbene early last Friday and landed this lovely brown on the troll. Not long after the photo was taken, the winds picked up and Poppy had to make a hasty retreat. Poppy adding, Lake Eucumbene is a beautiful place, but one must never forget just how quickly the weather can change there. You're so right, Poppy, and thanks for the reminder. Philip and his mate had a very productive session yesterday morning, trolling around Middling Bank. Philip telling me the fish were caught on lead core line and the Eucumbene bomber lure. All the fish were full of yabbies. Great catches, guys, and thanks for posting the pic, Philip. Well, it's officially spring in the mountains now. Tiny posted this pic yesterday afternoon of the first ladybug he's seen this season at Angler's Reach. Well, I'm not sure if they make a great bait, but surely they're far too cute to try, Tiny. Jeff took a trip down to Seven Gates last Thursday, and despite the gusty conditions, landed this big brown on the very popular Rapala spotted dog lure. Great catch, Jeff. My mate Anthony was up at Tantangara Dam on Wednesday, and, despite the dam dropping rapidly, he managed to land this lovely 54cm brown just after sunset on a pink tassie. Anthony caught another fish, a rainbow, the next morning on worms. Both fish were full of yabbies. Anthony runs a Tantangara Dam fishing camping group on Facebook and told me if anyone's heading up to the dam, they should really pack their gumboots. It's really muddy up there at the moment. And if you want more information from Tantangara Dam, check out Anthony's Facebook group. Mountain Lake regular Colin was fishing in Jindabyne last Sunday and escaped the wind by sheltering in the snowy arm. This proved very successful, with Colin landing his first ever brook trout on a peach scale pattern flatfish. Colin adding it was a very unexpected catch, but a great surprise. Colin released this beautiful fish to swim another day. Thanks for sharing, Colin. Glenn also fished Lake Jindabyne on October 7 and 8 and said the fish weren't playing along. Glenn tried many baits and techniques over the 2 days, including fishing from the banks and trolling. Glenn covered a lot of water and went through a range of different sizes and colours of plastics, hard bodies, and Tassie Devils, but managed to only land one fish. Glenn asked the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group if anyone thought that the supermoon on the 7th of October could have had something to do with the lack of fish. And if you want to add to the conversation, please leave your comments under Glenn's post. Well, the fish may not have been biting Glenn, but the pic is stunning. Lake regular Tony was back at Eucumbene last week and, unfortunately, sacrificed one of his favourite baby mandragories to the fish gods. Tony was quick to replace the lost lure, and no doubt it will be back catching fish, like the one pictured, again soon. As many know, Tony makes amazing lures that regularly catch big trout across the mountain lakes. If you want to grab yourself one, reach out to Tony via Facebook Messenger or the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. We have another lost and found this week. Brett found this hat during the week, straight out the front of Rainbow Pines Caravan Park at Old Adaminaby. If it's yours, please get in touch with Brett via Facebook Messenger or reach out to the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group and we'll try to reunite it with its owner. Now, Brett's find reminded me we still haven't found Alan's hat. Alan lost this one over at Buckandera in late September. Alan's been pining and just hasn't felt himself since it went missing, so if you see it, please reach out to Alan via Facebook Messenger. Pete was up at Lake Eucumbene on Tuesday, the 7th of October, and took this cool drone shot overlooking Jens Bay. It's a glorious capture, Pete, and it really showcases this magnificent lake. A couple of shout outs: Old Adaminaby, Old Adaminaby Boat Ramp, Graceley Island, the main range, and my favourite fishing spot when I fish Jens Bay. The history of Jens Bay is deeply entwined with the Kiandra Gold Rush and the subsequent flooding of original Adaminaby back in 1959 as part of the Snowy Mountains hydroelectric scheme. Jens Bay is named after the Yen family, who were early storeholders during the Kiandra Gold Rush, and they played a significant role in the community's history. Their legacy is preserved in the Old Adaminaby Pioneer Cemetery, which offers a window into the lives of the original inhabitants. I'll have more information on the Old Adaminaby Cemetery in a future report. A bit of a mixed bag of weather ahead next week at Lake Eucumbene. Warm and showery weather at the start of the week, cooling from around Thursday. Maximum temperatures ranging from 23 degrees tomorrow Monday and Wednesday to a cooler 16 degrees next Sunday, and up to 15 millimetres of rain is forecast over the next 7 days. In this week's Look Back in Time, here's a photo that was taken on Saturday, the 22nd of June 1957, that appeared in the Queanbeyan Age newspaper 3 days later. It's a view of the Adaminaby Dam site, showing the Eucumbene River flowing into the diversion gates on the extreme left of the photo. The photo was taken at the top of what was then the uncompleted dam wall. In the smaller photo, Senator Sponner, on the right, asked the acting Prime Minister of the day, Sir Arthur Fadden, to pull the switch which closed the diversion gates at the Adaminaby Dam. Over 2,000 people watched this ceremony, marking the completion of the second major step in the then £500 million Snowy Mountains hydroelectric project. The rest is, as they say, history. Now, I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of the Snowy 2.0 project here. Yes, I do have my opinions, but it was a pretty significant event this week. Snowy 2.0 trucked one of the largest overside loads ever through Cooma on Sunday night, the 12th of October. The convoy contained the motor for Snowy 2.0's newest tunnel boring machine, Monica. The convoy consisted of 5 trucks, 35 axles, 210 wheels, 450 tonnes of combined weight, was 7.5 metres wide and 100 metres long. It was quite a sight, with hundreds of Cooma residents coming out in the evening chill to see the trucks pass through town on their way to the mountains. It rivaled another piece of local history when parts of the original Snowy Mountains scheme passed through Cooma back in 1956. We've seen lots of John's great nostalgic pics over the past few months, and he posted another one during the week. John's been fishing in the mountains for a very long time, and he has the licenses to prove it. John's first license was issued in Adaminaby in 1961 by well-known, loved and missed Lee Stewart. John was 18. The last and current license issued in 2025. John is now 82, and he still loves the mountains, rivers and lakes just as much as he did the first time he fished them. Thanks for such a unique and wonderful memory, John, and here's to many more years fishing in the mountains. We've just seen John's pretty amazing array of fishing licenses, but here he is in action. Both photos were taken at Suicide Hole on the Eucumbene River. And knowing John like I do, I bet he could tell us exactly what tackle he used, including the rods, and what he caught the fish with. Thanks, John, and please keep the old photos coming. We love seeing them. Rodney posted this wonderful pic of him and his uncle Lynn taken at the lake back in the 1970s. Rodney was 3 at the time. It was Rodney's first ever trout, and he can still remember trying to wind the line in to catch the fish. It was just so heavy. Unfortunately, Rodney's uncle passed not long after this trip, but he definitely left a lasting memory for Rodney. Thanks for sharing with us. Colin posted this pic he took around 20 years ago that shows the Eucumbene River path at the end of Lake Jindabyne backed up water. Colin adding it gives an impression of just how glorious the river was before the Snowy scheme and how different it is from the relatively narrow river that flows into Lake Eucumbene. Thanks for sharing, Colin. For pick of the week, I've gone with this great shot of the supermoon near Lake Eucumbene on the 7th of October, taken by Glenn. It's a great capture, Glenn, and thanks for posting it to the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group. I can definitely relate to this week's fishing meme. The face I make when the whole lake's free and someone comes to fish near me. Ah, yes, it's happened to me once or twice over the years at Eucumbene. Mind you, I think someone within 20 kilometres of me is way too close. Well, that's the report for this week. Hope you found it useful. As always, I'm happy to take on any feedback or suggestions. And don't forget, if you're looking for more information on Lake Eucumbene, check out the social media channels. There's the website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified as soon as I put up new videos. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, tight lines, and bye for now.